Morena, it's 7:50 in the morning, Wednesday. Kind of slept in, even though I slept around 10 something. I don't know why, I think I just wanted to sleep, because I actually woke up at like 4 something. See if my Fitbit can show me. Woke up super early, and then I kind of struggled to go back to sleep for a bit, and then next time I woke up it was like 6 and I still didn't feel like getting up, so basically kept sleeping until 7 something. Got up, decided not to record the morning workout stuff that I normally do. I had to think about what I want to do about that. Started having this internal dilemma about, you know, if it's not recorded, it doesn't count. That's not a good way to go. Good way to think about it. And I've been having this dilemma watching my videos. It's like, do I have to film everything? Do I have to record morning, midday, evening? Because sometimes, like I think yesterday, there was a big chunk of the day that was kind of like missed. I remember doing the morning stuff, the walk. I think I got my breakfast, and then after that was like a big gap, and then pretty much the next one was like the morning, the Mangere walk. So a big chunk of the day. Like I didn't talk about my Māori lessons, which I had, and I guess that's a dilemma that I'm having, is what do I actually show? What do I record? What do I include? When do I stop? Like at what time of the day? Because the other thing I've started noticing is that 8:30 rule that I wanted, it's pretty much almost non-existent. Like there's been so many times where, you know, it's 8 o'clock and I just got home, or it's 8:30, or it's 9 o'clock, or it's 10, and I'm still, you know, on my device and whatnot. It's like I need to knuckle down on that. And that kind of goes back to the halftime huddle video where Darren, I was watching it again last night, locked in, and man, he says so many good things. I think I talked about it yesterday, about like focusing on what went well. And what did go well was routine. What did go well was winding down. Not necessarily for 6 months, but recently. So I want to knuckle down on that, make it even better. But yeah, maybe I need to do some analysis. I guess the thing that I struggle with is when it comes to these kinds of questions, I feel like just getting to the answer takes a lot of time. Like, you know, you need to kind of sift through all of your notes, and you know, then I've mentioned that my Notion is kind of falling apart, so I started looking into it and trying to fill out yesterday, for example, and man, it's basically become a massive task in and of itself. So I'm like, nah, I can't do this. I pretty much need to scrap it. And then I'm like, man, how am I supposed to like compare the past 6 months if I'm not even confident in the past 6 days? Okay, the past 6 days is different. I've been like doubling, tripling down, getting distracted. That's a big thing. But this is a dilemma that I'm having almost every day. It's just kind of this overwhelm, and that's the thing that he said, is like, get rid of your penalties, get rid of your distractions, notifications, get rid of them, every single one. Focus on like one or two things. And I'm like, yo, that sounds like Hero Cave. I'm like, yo, I can actually do that. I want to do that. We're talking about it, thinking about it. So, and I remember talking to my fiance about it. It's like, oh, it's kind of hard to live in a cave when you're with, you know, your spouse. She's like, no, you can do that while I'm at work. I'm like, oh, that's true. That's true. Pretty much the whole day. Just no distractions. Focus on one thing. Get a bunch of stuff done. And yeah. Anyway, I forgot to talk about gratitude. This is the thing, I just push record and I start talking without like a clear plan. So I'm grateful for God. I'm grateful for, I just wrote three things. Grateful for God, grateful for my fiance, and I'm grateful for the long sleep that I had, a long restorative sleep. And three things that I said I could be better at, man, already forgot them. One was intake of water. The first one was socials, reducing the amount of time on social media. The second one was water intake, drinking more water more regularly. And the third one, honestly, got a blank. It'll be on the screen. And then the intent, how do I say that? My intentions for the day, three of them, is jumpstart, SOLE-A-THON, and night routine. Fixing my night routine, as I've just talked about. And yeah, little bits and pieces in between, like reading a book or books, focusing on that is what I'll try to put in. Anyway, I'm going to cross the road and I'll chat to you later. Actually, while I've just remembered, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I've got laundry to do and shopping, so I probably won't record those. But what I was thinking about was to improve upon my Darren Daily workflow. So right now I'm going to start watching today's video, which is part 3 in the series of selling. Just to recap for myself mainly, part 1 was about understanding the job description as a salesperson. The first, which consisted of 3 things. Number 1 was helping them decide what they want. And he said this thing that I loved. He said, you're not a salesperson, you're a decision consultant. I thought that was really cool. Really liked that. Number 2 was to make a genuine connection. So, like, do research on your prospects and try to figure out who they are, get to know them, connect with them in a meaningful way. Number 3 was qualify and sort. And it was essentially the idea that not all people are right for you, and your business, product, service is not for everyone. So do your research, You know, find out what they're like, find out if they are like going to be a repeat customer and therefore worthy of your time, or if they're just, you know, like a one and done type of customer who's not going to provide repeat business. Like he basically said, you want to find the perfect avatar, the perfect customer who will rave about your products, advocate for you. Those are the people you want. So you don't want to sell to 100, you want to sell to 10 or 20, you know, committed, die-hard, ideal customers who will get you referrals, who will rave about you, write reviews about you, all of this sort of stuff. And then part 2 of the series, which was yesterday, was, he called it the 3 C's of positioning and sales. So the first one was confidence. Basically, people only buy from people that are confident or convicted in what they say. And he kind of said people can sniff out if you're BS, or if you're lying, or if you don't actually believe in the product or service. And then this reminded me of something that Fraser, one moment, just changing my hand's getting cold, something Fraser Bray talked about, user generated content, UGC, which is basically everyday people filming content, kind of being brand ambassadors. It's like they actually love the product, they like the product, they use the product. Whereas a lot of celebrities, they just get paid. They get paid big dollars and they don't actually, like, you know, basically they sell their soul. The people can tell that. So it was all about conviction. And you don't have to be, you know, charismatic or whatnot. You just have to like truly believe in it. So he said, Darren said he knows lots of shy people that will sell the heck out of a movie or a book or a whatever because they really like it, you know, love it. And that's the kind of energy you need. The second C is you're not convincing. He said you're not convincing, you're aligning your offer or your values or your product with their values. And the example he used, let's crack up. He said, imagine if you were selling weight loss pills. You don't just walk up to somebody and say, hey, you're fat, take these and lose all of that weight. He said, this is a bad idea because not only will you get smacked upside the head, but they don't have an unmet desire and they don't have an unmet need to do anything. So he said, doesn't matter what you think, doesn't matter what your perspective is, what you think people need, it's what they think they need. So align it to that. And then the third C is control, and this one I love too. The example, this one is about controlling the conversation. And the example that he used was basically like when you go to see a doctor. He said what a doctor does is they ask you questions, you know, what's wrong, why are you here today, how can I help you, where does it hurt, you know, they might do an examination. Basically they'll ask questions, and then you, the patient, might interrupt, might provide irrelevant information, and it's the doctor's job to kind of steer you back on track, control the conversation, and ask more probing type questions to get to the heart of the issue, what's really wrong. And then once they're satisfied with all of that, then they can and they have diagnosed you, then and only then will they prescribe a solution in the form of medication, lifestyle changes, or surgery, for example. He goes, they wouldn't start off by saying, hey, it looks like you need brain surgery. They'll start off by asking questions, doing an examination, doing tests, and then, if appropriate, recommending surgery. He said what some salespeople do is they prescribe before they diagnose. Don't do that. So yeah, that's the first two parts. Part 3 today. I need to stop talking and start watching because I'm halfway home. So yeah, all caught up. Now I have a very strong recollection. I've also already pre-written the first half of the post for optimizing, so I'm going to start watching the video, part 3, watch it twice, do a voice recording, and then do it when I get home. Sweet. See you later. Yo, it is 7:35 p.m. at night. I think this was roughly the same time in the morning. Maybe it was a bit later, I can't remember. And just got dropped off home, and I decided I'm gonna go for a little walk around the block just because I want to hit 7,000 steps. I'm just at 5,000 something, so just a little round should be enough. And yeah, I think the last video I did was probably the one when I was walking home, so I don't think I recorded anything during the day, but it's been a pretty busy day, I guess. I managed to tick off 2 of the things on my list, so 2 of the things that I intended to do. Don't know how to say that. Follow up with uni, so did that, waiting on them to get back to me. Basically, because I had a study break, I need to do this like suspension form for each quarter that I missed, so that the duration of the program, the masters that I'm doing, doesn't exceed the required limits. But the form that they sent me, link doesn't work, so they need to come back to me on that. And then the other thing I wanted to do was SOLE-A-THON. I read 2 chapters, read and listened to 2 chapters. I think I'm a week behind there. The third thing I wanted to do was jumpstart, which I haven't done. But I also had 3 Māori classes today, back to back, from 10 to 11:30, and after that I did some ChatGPT, preparing like a backlog of posts. Oh, and the results for Darren Daily today kind of worked out pretty good, but for some reason I could not find the work that I did last night. It was so weird because when I searched for it, it was there, but when I asked ChatGPT to find it, I couldn't find it. So I basically had to start over, which actually took, probably took the same amount of time that it took yesterday writing it. So I don't know. It does kind of work. It's just the editing process. And then this is kind of where I spent a lot of my time, maybe 90 minutes or an hour. Aroha mai for the wind. Oh, kia ora tāwhiri mātia. Hope you're well. Anyway, I can feel some a little sprinkling of rain. Rangi Nui is doing something. What are you up to? Anyway, I've been thinking about this thing about originality for a while now, and it kind of all stems from the day that I said I want to quit, I want to give up, because I had this moment where I was like, it was a Saturday, it was a Sunday, sorry, and I didn't have anything like front of mind to talk about, and then I was like, oh shit, what am I actually doing? I'm just stealing his content, you know, writing about it, and then, you know, putting a couple of stickers on top of it and calling it mine. It's not mine, it's his. I do reflections, sure. Then I was like, well, is this original? And then I thought back to Toastmasters, where we, you know, in the contest circuit, as a contestant, you basically had to fill out a form that said, 1, you're eligible, and 2, the speech that you've written and are performing is substantially original. Substantially original? What does that mean? What is substantial? More than half? I think it was 80%. I can't remember because it's not actually clearly written anywhere. But I think the general consensus was 10 to 15%, maybe 20%. Could be like paraphrased, copied, quoted. But the rest had to be your original work. So I was like, huh, why don't I apply that to, you know, these LinkedIn posts? And then I had a thought, why don't I ask ChatGPT to score all of my posts and basically give me an originality score, and then that would become like a stamp of authenticity, a stamp of originality on every single one of my posts. And it turned out to be a pretty good idea. Written quite a lot about it. Now the challenge is getting it down to the 3,000 character limit. So, yeah. It's almost like I'm making it complicated because I have posts which will now point to other posts. Like every single post is going to point to this one post, because this originality score is going to be pretty much at the top or bottom of every post that I do. People might wonder what it's about. So the thinking is, well, I'll just write a post about it, and then every other post will point to it. Sounds genius in my head, but it's also a lot of work. So that's probably tomorrow. And I've also been writing a post about Māori Lessons, which I sent to this guy to have a look at. And I've also got 2 more posts that I've got lined up and been thinking about for a while. One is the volunteer stuff that I did, and another is the coaching call. So I've got posts coming out of my eyeballs, in other words. So I've got plenty of material, and now a system to kind of accurately show how original they are, if you trust ChatGPT to be the judge. Anyway, today's been a pretty good day. Pretty productive, I think. So yeah, almost home. And yeah, this will probably be my final video. I think I've done 60 push-ups and squats because I was doing 12. I originally tried to do 8 times, but then I just got busy. The 12, then I did 24, then I did 12, and then I did another 12, which brings me to 60. So, and out of that 60, I think I counted 10 or 12 proper push-ups, so I need to keep track of that somewhere. So yeah, pretty good day. Grateful for the wind picking up. Pretty good day. Grateful for my health. Grateful for my fiance, and grateful for te rongopai, my kaiako, and ngā atua Māori. Ranginui, me tāwhiri mātia, and everyone else. So yeah, it's day 53, 54, Wednesday. Signing out. Stay strong. See you tomorrow.